I think the DS is a better console than the PSP. I'm sorry, PlayStation. Good morning, Ichigo. If you guys know where that reference is from, let me know. Let's find out if you guys know your stuff. Comment it down below. Today, we'll be looking at should you buy a Nintendo DS in 2024? I have no idea, but let's find out together.
So where do I even begin with this particular console? The craziest thing is that the Nintendo DS Lite was probably not only the most impactful gaming console I've ever had, but it was the most impactful device, electronic device I've ever had either. I was given this thing for my birthday like so many years ago. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old or 9 years old, something like that.
Yeah, so the DS, there was quite a lot of DS made. I'm not sure the exact, like, I know Nintendo is a different league. I'm used to more of the PlayStation, the Xbox side. So yeah, I've never really been a Nintendo player. There have been quite a lot of Nintendo DSs that have come out. There is like 3D DSs. There's a DS Lite, the DSi, the DSi XL. There's quite a lot that have happened. Then there's the XLs. So like Nintendo have made a plethora of DSs, and I don't know if they're worth buying. These remind me a lot of the PSP Go's. Maybe I can show you guys a picture of the PSP Go so you guys can see it. PSP Go. So I wonder, can you see it here? Reject all. So this is the image of a PSP Go. It reminds me a lot of the DS. Why are you not showing up? The slide in PSP Go, it was not the best console, I'm not gonna lie. It was good for watching media because you could just slide it down, but the DS is more of an open and close situation. But let's find out. Should you guys buy it? I don't even know. I'm not too sure.
Like that, and the amount of impact this particular console gave to me back then was absolutely crazy. And It's funny because if you even look back at like my first couple videos on this channel from 2016 or 2017 or something, you would see that I was still talking about this console back then, but it really wasn't that big of a deal for me. I actually kind of liked it, and it was supposed to be kind of that dual screen technology with it having a foldable, type of, I guess architecture to it, which was very different than what we were getting on some of the competition. If you remember, consoles like the PlayStation P and like all these other ones.
I just said that.
Those were giving you a little bit of a different, design language for the most part on those languages. It was more so what you'd expect from a portable console, just kind of it being a rectangular design. This one was completely different. This thing had those dual screens, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, it's night and day difference. Do I still have the picture of the PSP Go? Yeah, see, this only has one display on there, not two, just one. So yeah, night and day difference between this console and that the other console.
And with the Nintendo DS Lite, this thing looked beautiful. It was a really good looking console, and this once again in and of itself was one of my most favorite things going on for this particular.
Yeah, the DS Lite looks nice. Like the raised screen makes a big difference. I can imagine playing and then sliding your finger on the display. So this gives like a little rest where your finger cannot go over. So it looks beautiful. I don't know about the games.
The device at that time. So definitely from that perspective alone, it definitely gets a thumbs up for me from the design language. It was sleek.
Hold on. I'm a learner here. So it looks like in a Mario game, for example, is the bottom would show you one element of the game, like a map, and the top. So if you're playing like a racing game, would the bottom show you where you are on the map and the top show you like the front view of the map? That could be a game changer. And in terms of here, for example, you might get easily lost in a game like the 3D game. So this, okay.
It was slim, and I could look at this thing for hours and hours and hours and not get bored of it. The original DS, a little bit of a different story, but this
Oh,
thing definitely
wow.
looked very good, and it was one of my
So it changes the map based upon where you are in the game. Not bad.
most favorite things going on for this particular console at that time. So architecture wise and the design wise, definitely gets a thumbs up. Now the folding and unfolding could be a little annoying for some people out there. Like if you're having to constantly go through and like unfold this thing and fold this thing, that can be kind of an annoying thing for some people. I will tell you personally, for me, I liked it. I was scared of it sometimes. Like I was afraid this thing was going to break in like two folds or something like that. But after folding it a little bit more, like after like a week, I was already kind of used.
Yeah, this can be an area where things can fail. I don't know how many DSs break because of the hinge, but it looks sturdy from where I'm looking at it. If you guys have had a DS fail on you, let me know.
Used to it, so it really wasn't even like that big of a deal for me at that time, but still just another interesting thing going on for this particular console. So once again, I will tell you from the outside, everything perfectly fine. Now this console did retail with a lot of different games when it first came out, and it was one of the most, I guess, successful handhelds that Nintendo ever made. The whole entire DS lineup was amazing, and as of March 31st, I'm reading this from Wikipedia obviously, 2014, the DS Lite had shipped 93.86 million units.
That is a lot of units for a little handheld. I think the DS is a better console than the PSP. I'm sorry, PlayStation. I think so. I think the failure of the PSP is that the games that were developed for it were not that many. Whereas the DS, a lot of the games that were being purchased were games that are nostalgic games. So there was a bigger emphasis to get the most popular games on the DS. And anyway, the Nintendo mainly started with handhelds anyway, so the Game Boy side of things. So I really can't blame them that the DS was a far better console. But the games you played on the DS were very different. So the PSPs had more power, could play higher games, but the DS was designed with the player in mind. The games were designed for this is not an afterthought. So the issue with the PSP was that they just copied and pasted the normal PSP games onto the PSP, the PSP Go, PS whatever Vista, and just change the controls. The game is built for the DS from the ground up, where the bottom display is designed so that the top display can see more, and everything is designed for this console, which is a different ethos compared to the PS side of things, and that's why it sold more and did more and was better
worldwide. That is absolutely crazy. For them to sell those many units in that period of time is crazy, and it's probably sold even more than that, technically speaking. And the amount of games that came out for this console too was just really, really good. I still play a lot of DS games too, but another thing was that the DS Lite was the last Nintendo product in a way to have a dedicated Game Boy Advance slot. So since this particular console, there has never been another Nintendo console for the most part that has had a dedicated Game Boy Advance, game cartridge slot. However, as we all know,
does this mean you can play Game Boy games inside a DS?
A lot of games after this have gotten Game Boy Advance games. So, you could always download them you could have downloaded them from the 3DS eShop, from the Nintendo DSi shop, or DSiWare, and then obviously with the Nintendo Switch now more popular, you have the Game Boy Advance dedicated, Nintendo Online package, so you can always download it.
Yeah, the Switch is a different console to this. It's like driving like a Mini Cooper and driving a Lamborghini, literally night and day. One is nostalgic, one is just pure power and beauty. So should you buy the DS? You know what? Yeah, this is a completely different experience to the Switch. It's so much different. It's a console which you can get and just have fun with. It's such a pure console. I would buy this for somebody who wanted a fun little game to play with. this is something that's worth buying, like as a little gift to a friend. But like, here's a DS. They might look at you sideways, but it's like it's a fun little thing to do. And the amount of games, well, a lot of games that this was designed for. So should you buy a DS? Yes. If you guys who are watching this have DSs, comment down below. Tell me your stories about them. I want to hear it. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.